There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that the greatest battle they will ever fight is not against circumstances, not against other people, not against failure, but against their own shifting emotions. Mood is one of the most unpredictable forces within us. It rises and falls like waves, pulling us toward comfort when we should be heading toward discipline, distracting us when we need focus, and convincing us to quit right when we are closest to the breakthrough. But your plan, your vision, your structure, your purpose, this is the anchor that keeps you grounded when the storms inside you try to knock you off course. You cannot build a life you are proud of by following the moods you feel in the moment. You build it by following the commitments you made to yourself long before the moment arrived. Some days you will wake up inspired, and some days you will wake up empty. Some days your heart will feel full, and other days it will be heavy. But your life cannot be driven by how you feel on any particular day. It has to be guided by the plan that reflects who you want to become, not the mood that reflects where you are right now. Real growth happens when you choose persistence over emotion. Success happens when you decide that your plan deserves your loyalty, even on the days when you don't feel like showing up. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, and that bridge is crossed one unglamorous, unexciting, unmotivated step at a time. You don't rise because you always feel strong. You rise because you choose strength even when you feel weak. You don't succeed because you are always confident. You succeed because you act through the doubt. You don't transcend because life gets easier. You transcend because your plan becomes bigger than your excuses. When you follow your mood, you remain a prisoner of inconsistency. When you follow your plan, you become the architect of your future. So today, I want you to ask yourself, are you moving according to your emotions? Or are you moving according to your vision? Are you following fleeting feelings, or are you honoring long-term purpose? Are you acting, or are you building? The person you dream of becoming is waiting on the other side of discipline. Devotion and direction. Follow your plan, and one day, the life you always imagined will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. There is a truth many people avoid because it demands responsibility, discomfort, and maturity. Discipline is not a skill you learn. It is a promise to yourself every single day. When you choose to follow your plan instead of your mood, you are not simply being productive. You are building a relationship with yourself on trust, consistency, and integrity. Most people don't realize this, but your mind is always watching you. It remembers the things you say you will do and the things you actually do. Every time you commit to a goal and follow through, even when you feel tired or unmotivated, your mind learns something important. I can trust myself. And in every time you allow your mood to take control, skipping the workout, postponing the task, abandoning the plan, your mind learns something else. My words don't mean much. This is why discipline is deeper than willpower. Willpower is momentary. It rises and falls like a wave. Discipline, however, is a long-term agreement. It is the quiet decision that no matter how you feel in the moment, you will honor the future you are building. It is the invisible force that creates strong people, successful people, grounded people, the ones who move forward even when everything inside them wants to retreat. But discipline doesn't begin with big steps. It begins with small promises. Promises that may look ordinary to the world but mean everything to the person making them. Waking up on time, reading for 20 minutes, saving a small amount of money, sticking to a schedule, showing up early, taking care of your body. These are not just habits, they are declarations of who you are becoming. Your mood, on the other hand, is unpredictable. It shifts with the weather, your energy, your environment, and the people around you. Your mood will tell you to stay comfortable. It will tell you, do it later. It will find excuses, distractions, reasons, and even fears to keep you still. But your plan, your dream, your vision, your purpose will tell you something very different. Do it now, because the future depends on it. And the future really does depend on it. Every time you choose your plan over your mood, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. You sculpt your character. You strengthen your mental muscles. You create momentum that it eventually turns into progress and then into transformation. Think of your plan as a roadmap. When you follow it, you move toward your destination step by step. But when you follow your mood, you wander in circles. You lose direction. You repeat old patterns. You delay your own rise. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for motivation, waiting for inspiration, waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment is not something you wait for. It is something you create through action. Discipline is how you create it. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will challenge you. Yes, there will be days when you don't feel like showing up. But the most successful, fulfilled, and empowered people in the world don't succeed because they are always motivated. They succeed because they are disciplined. They succeed because they do the work, especially on the days they don't feel like it. And here's the powerful part. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. What was once heavy becomes light. What once felt impossible becomes natural. You start craving the results more than the comfort. You begin to trust your own strength. You begin to lead your life, not follow your emotions. Discipline is a form of self-love. It is you telling yourself, I deserve better. I deserve progress. I deserve the future I want. When you choose your plan over your mood, you choose the person you are destined to be. And that choice, repeated again and again, becomes your power. Discipline is not something you stumble upon. It is something you choose. Most people wait for motivation, believing they will magically feel ready, inspired, or energized before they begin. But the truth is simply, you cannot build the life you want by relying on the feelings you have today. Feelings are temporary. Plans are direction. And discipline is the powerful bridge that connects where you are right now to who you want to become. There will always be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when you wake up tired, emotionally drained, or distracted by the noise of life. On these days, your mood will whisper excuses. Let's do it tomorrow. It's not the right time. You're not in the zone today. And if you listen to that voice too often, your dreams slowly begin to slip out of your hands. Not because you aren't worthy or capable, but because you surrendered your future to the weakness of the moment. Discipline is the opposite of surrender. It is the declaration that your long-term vision matters more than momentary comfort. It is the internal promise that says, I will show up, even when I don't feel like it. And the beautiful thing is, discipline isn't built in huge, dramatic moments. It grows quietly, in small and consistent actions that slowly accumulate day after day. When you commit to discipline, you aren't just committing to tasks. You're committing to your future self. The person you are becoming depends entirely on the choices you make today. Think about that. Every time you choose discipline over mood, you are literally shaping a stronger, wiser, more powerful version of yourself. You are building trust with yourself, proving that you can rely on you, because that is what discipline ultimately is, self-trust. And self-trust is the strongest foundation a human being can stand on. But here's something people rarely talk about. Discipline is not punishment. It's not about strictness or perfection. It's about alignment. It's about moving in harmony with the future you desire. When you follow your plan, you align your daily steps with your long-term dreams. When you follow your mood, you scatter your energy and slow down your own progress. Your mind will always find ways to protect you from discomfort, That is its nature. But your soul knows when something is right for you. Your soul recognizes when the path you're walking is leading to growth, even if it feels uncomfortable in the moment. Discipline honors the voice of your soul over the noise of your emotions. Think of every person you admire: leaders, creators, achievers, builders, storytellers, healers. They did not rise because they were always in the mood. They rose because they followed the plan when everyone else followed their feelings. They rose because they understood that consistency, not intensity, is what leads to transformation. And here's the beautiful reward: discipline eventually creates motivation. When you show up repeatedly, your mind begins to shift, your identity begins to change. You start to see progress. Feel progress become progress, and nothing fuels motivation like seeing yourself grow. Your future self is waiting for you to choose the plan over the mood, waiting for you to push past your excuses, waiting for you to build the strength, the clarity, and the resilience that only discipline can create. So the question is not, do I feel like it today? The real question is, what does my future deserve from me today? Choose discipline. Choose consistency. Choose the version of yourself you dream of becoming. Every choice you make today is building that person. Discipline is not something you declare once and expect to carry with you for the rest of your life. It is not a switch you flip. It is not a declaration you make at midnight on January 1st or after a motivational video. Discipline is a daily choice, a repeated choice, a stubborn, intentional decision you make every morning, every afternoon, every night, especially on the days when you do not feel like it. Some people believe that successful individuals wake up naturally motivated, that they somehow possess an endless supply of energy, passion, and consistency. But success has very little to do with motivation and nearly everything to do with commitment. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation lifts you off the ground, but only discipline keeps you airborne. Every day, you will face a crossroads: follow your mood or follow your plan. Your mood will tempt you with comfort. Your plan will challenge you with responsibility. Your mood will say, rest a little longer. You deserve it. Your plan will say, get up. You know what you must do. And the life you end up living will be determined by which voice you choose to obey. The truth is, your feelings are unpredictable. They shift with the weather, with the people around you, with your fears, with your insecurities, and sometimes for no reason at all. One moment you feel inspired, and the next moment you feel worthless. One moment you feel unstoppable, and the next you feel exhausted. That is why a but around feelings will always be unstable. But a life built around discipline, around structure, intention, and clarity becomes steady, powerful, and purposeful. Discipline is not glamorous. No one applauds you when you wake up at 5 a.m. No one cheers when you choose work over distraction. No one sees you saying no to temptation, no to old habits, no to things that drain your energy. People applaud your results, not your discipline. But discipline is the quiet architect behind every achievement you will ever experience, every strong person you admire. Every leader, every creator, every high achiever has learned this truth: what you do consistently matters far more than what you do occasionally. Discipline means doing the work even when no one is watching. Discipline means choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. Discipline means protecting your future from your present impulses. Discipline means being loyal to your goals. Even when your mood betrays you, you will not always feel proud of your progress, but discipline teaches you something profound: consistency beats perfection. You don't need to feel amazing every day. You don't need to feel strong every day. You don't even need to feel ready. You just need to show up every single day. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you're frustrated. Show up when you're uninspired. Show up when you'd rather disappear. The simple act of showing up is an act of power. Over time, discipline does something magical. It transforms you. Bit by bit, day by day, action by action, it reshapes your identity. You stop being someone who tries and become someone who does. Someone who waits becomes someone who moves. Someone who hopes becomes someone who executes. And that shift is what unlocks the version of you that you've always dreamed of becoming. Discipline is not punishment, it is not restriction, it is freedom. Freedom from inconsistency, freedom from regret, freedom from the chaos of letting your emotions rule your life. Discipline gives you direction. Discipline gives you stability. Discipline gives you control, so choose it. Not once, not occasionally, but daily. Because every day that you choose discipline over mood, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. And eventually, those votes add up, shaping a life filled not with wishful thinking, but with purposeful achievement. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide whether they will be loyal to their feelings or loyal to their future. Feelings are powerful. Yes, they move us, shake us, distract, and inspire us. But feelings are also temporary. They rise like waves and fall just as quickly. Your future, however, is permanent. It is shaped by every choice you make when no one is watching. That is where discipline comes in, not as a punishment, not as a burden, but as a promise. A promise to your future self that you will not abandon them in moments of weakness. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with the person you are becoming. Every action you take either pays you forward or sets you back. When you choose discipline over impulse, you are essentially saying, I care enough about who I will be tomorrow to make the right choice today. That is the heart of self-respect. That is the root of mastery. Every great dream requires a great level of discipline, not motivation, not inspiration, discipline. Because motivation can disappear the moment you feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. But discipline will walk with you through every storm and every season. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It is the tool that transforms blurry dreams into clear reality. When you practice discipline, you are teaching yourself consistency. You are training your mind to follow through even when your heart is not cooperating. There will be days when you wake up without energy. Days when the world feels heavy. Days when nothing around you sparks excitement. And it is on those days, especially those days, that discipline becomes your best friend. Discipline does not ask you how you feel. Discipline asks you what your plan is. Discipline reminds you that temporary moods should never hold permanent power over your life. Think of your future self for a moment. The version of you 5 years from now, standing stronger, wiser, more fulfilled. That person does not appear by accident. They are built by the choices you make today. They are built every time you refuse to procrastinate. Every time you choose progress over excuses. Every time you decide that your growth is more important than your comfort. You are shaping your future self with each disciplined action. And yes, discipline is uncomfortable. It will ask you to sacrifice. It will pull you away from distractions, temptations, laziness, and excuses. It will challenge you to rise above your patterns and habits. But the truth is simple: comfort never created greatness. Comfort keeps you where you are. Discipline takes you where you need to go. You owe it to yourself to build a life you can be proud of. And that life depends on the everyday decisions that seem small but carry massive impact. Waking up early, sticking to your routine, honoring your commitments, eating with intention, working with focus. These are not minor acts. They are seeds. And discipline is the water that helps them grow. When you look back years from now, you will not remember the days you felt unmotivated. You will remember the days you pushed through anyway. You will remember the strength you found in your own consistency. And you will be grateful for the discipline you chose because it protected your dreams from being destroyed by your moods. So honor your future self. Keep your promise. Choose discipline, not because it is easy, but because it is the greatest expression of self-love, self-respect, and self-belief. When you follow your plan over your mood, you prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than your feelings suggest. You rise above your excuses and step into your power. And that, right there, is how you transform your life. One disciplined decision at a time. There comes a moment in every person's journey when they must look in the mirror and decide who they are going to be. Not in the eyes of the world, not in the expectations of others, but in the truth of their own reflection. And that moment is almost always defined by one powerful question: do I respect myself enough to stay loyal to the plan I created? Because discipline is not a punishment, not a burden, and certainly not a restriction. Discipline is one of the purest, most sacred forms of self-respect. It is a declaration that your dreams matter, your goals matter, and you matter. When you celebrate discipline, you are celebrating your future self. You are honoring the version of you who will rise because of the choices you are making today. Too often, people want the outcome without honoring the process. They want the transformation without embracing the consistency. They want the trophy without showing up for the training. But the truth is simple and unavoidable. You do not get the life you dream about. You get the life you are disciplined enough to build. Discipline is the voice that speaks when motivation goes silent. Motivation is emotional. It comes and it goes like the weather, changing with mood, energy, circumstances, or convenience. But discipline is faithful. It is steady. It is the quiet promise you make to yourself behind closed doors when no one is watching and you have every opportunity to choose the easier path. Discipline whispers, "You said you wanted this, so act like it." And that whisper is the difference between those who wish and those who achieve. When you celebrate discipline, you are celebrating integrity. You are proving to yourself that you can be trusted. Imagine how powerful your life becomes when you trust your own word more than you trust your feelings. Imagine how unstoppable you become when you no longer wait for the right mood to take the next step. Imagine how solid your confidence becomes when you know, without a doubt, that you will show up. No excuses, no delays, no negotiation. Discipline is not about being rigid. It is about being responsible with the potential you carry. It is about honoring your gifts enough to refine them. It is about valuing your dreams enough to protect them from your own moments of weakness. It is about giving your future self a life that is built on intention, not impulsiveness. And yes, there will be days when discipline feels heavy. There will be moments when your mind tries to convince you that skipping the work just this once won't matter. There will be mornings when staying in bed feels easier than getting up to chase the life you said you wanted. But that is exactly why discipline must be celebrated. Because every time you choose the plan over the mood, you win a battle within yourself. You rise a little higher. You strengthen the foundation of the person you are becoming. Discipline is self-love in action. It is you saying, "I am worthy of the effort." It is you choosing progress over comfort, purpose over distraction, growth over stagnation. It is you proving, not to the world, but to yourself, that your dreams are worth fighting for. And when you begin to truly celebrate discipline, something remarkable happens. Life begins to open for you. Opportunities align. Habits strengthen. Confidence grows. Your vision becomes clearer. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to shrink. Step by step, day by day. Because disciplined people are not lucky, they are committed. And commitment creates results that mood could never create. So celebrate your discipline. Honor it. Protect it. Feed it. Let it be the rhythm of your growth and the heartbeat of your future. For when you value discipline, you value yourself. And when you value yourself, you become unstoppable. As we come to the end of this message, I want you to take a deep breath and truly understand something powerful. Your mood is temporary, but your plan is a declaration of who you are becoming. Feelings can change in an instant. Motivation rises and falls, excitement comes and goes, and confidence can shift from one moment to the next. But your plan is built from your deepest values, your long-term vision, and the quiet promises you make to yourself when no one is watching. When you choose to follow your plan instead of your mood, you begin to step into a level of discipline that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. You stop living in reaction to life and start living with intention. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop waiting for the right feeling and start creating the right future. There will be days when you don't feel inspired, days when your energy is low, when doubt whispers louder than your goals, when comfort tries to pull you back into old patterns. But those are the days that matter most. Because every time you choose consistency over emotion, you are rewriting your identity. You are teaching your mind that you are not controlled by impulses. You are guided by purpose. Success isn't built in the moments when you feel great. It's built in the moments when you follow through despite not wanting to. That's where confidence is born. That's where self-respect grows. That's where you become unstoppable. Your mood cannot be the driver of your life. It can ride in the back seat if it wants to, but your plan holds the steering wheel. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep honoring your commitments. Keep choosing growth over comfort and discipline over distraction. Even small steps taken consistently will take you further than bursts of motivation ever will. One day you will look back, and you won't just be proud of what you achieved. You'll be proud of who you became in the process. Follow your plan, not your mood. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of your discipline.